The Las Vegas courtroom fell silent as gasps echoed when the judge revealed the final verdict. Austin Chumlee Russell, overwhelmed by the weight of his sentence, collapsed in disbelief. The dramatic moment stunned those in attendance, highlighting the intense emotions that surrounded the case. But what led to the shocking legal confrontation between the beloved reality star and the justice system? The story behind this explosive legal battle reveals how the rise of a fan favorite from Pawn Stars took a dramatic and unexpected turn. Chumlee rose to fame as one of reality television's most entertaining personalities. He became known for his laid-back demeanor, sharp comedic timing, and the genuine energy he brought to every episode of History Channel's Pawn Stars. For more than a decade, his on-screen presence included unforgettable highlights like acquiring rare pinball machines, showcasing his video game knowledge, and delivering fan-favorite catchphrases. Yet, his influence extended well beyond television. His impact on the collectibles industry, his role in boosting the gold and silver pawnshop's profile, and the creation of his own personal brand elevated him from an everyday shop employee to a pop culture icon. His television success stemmed from his natural charisma, relatability, and refusal to be boxed in by early perceptions. Originally cast as comic relief, Chumlee faced doubts from viewers and producers alike, but he defied expectations by developing expertise in specific collectible items. His authenticity won over fans and made him a key player on the show. He connected with audiences in a uniquely personal way, helping him become one of the most relatable stars in reality television. While Pawn Stars launched him into the spotlight, Chumlee used his fame to branch out. He built a successful business portfolio that included a candy store, clothing line, and personal appearances, all of which brought in millions of dollars. These ventures not only showcased his entrepreneurial instincts but also later proved vital in funding his defense when serious legal troubles emerged, shaking his devoted fan base. The show and its breakout star eventually moved in different directions. Pawn Stars continued to flourish, airing over 500 episodes and gaining global syndication. Its educational content and strong production values cemented its reputation as a standout reality series. Meanwhile, Chumlee began facing the burdens that came with sudden celebrity status. While fans adored his fun-loving public image and crowded his personal events, the reality of living two conflicting lives began to wear on him. "I was living two completely different lives," he confessed in a 2017 interview with Entertainment Weekly. "Fame makes you feel invincible. I wanted to enjoy every second, especially when people recognized me everywhere I went." This mindset fueled a lavish lifestyle. As the show maintained its focus on historical items and expert deals, Chumlee's world off-camera was filled with luxury cars, a sprawling home, and a vast collection of designer sneakers and jewelry. His social media presence flaunted this opulence, attracting millions of views and reinforcing an image far removed from his humble beginnings at the pawn shop. By the mid-2010s, the contrast between his growing professional achievements and his escalating personal indulgences had become striking. At the height of the show's success, with some episodes drawing more than 7 million viewers, Chumlee was simultaneously growing his brand through ventures like Chumlee's Candy on the Las Vegas Strip and a thriving merchandise business. However, behind the scenes, he was quietly struggling with the emotional weight of fame. In a rare, honest moment, he admitted that the pressure of being in the spotlight nearly unraveled everything. "Going from an ordinary guy to someone who couldn't walk into Walmart without taking 500 photos set me spiraling," he shared. "I turned to things that helped me cope, and it almost cost me everything." As Pawn Stars evolved into a polished, highly produced show, Chumlee's personal issues only deepened. By 2016, the disconnect between his on-screen persona and real-life struggles became impossible to ignore. To viewers, he remained a lovable, slightly naive character they cherished. But off-screen, his life was veering toward crisis, and soon, it would all come to light in a very public way. His legal troubles began with a police raid on his Las Vegas home in March 2016. Initially part of a sexual assault investigation, the search uncovered far more than anyone anticipated. "We executed a search warrant as part of an ongoing investigation," said Officer Rodriguez during a widely publicized press conference. What we discovered during that search led to additional charges unrelated to the original investigation. The findings ignited a media frenzy, with commentators speculating on what it could mean for Chumlee and the future of Pawn Stars. Within a week, TMZ published details that left fans stunned. Law enforcement had discovered firearms, drugs, and paraphernalia throughout his residence. The revelations clashed dramatically with the cheerful persona fans had grown to love. "This isn't the Chumlee we know from TV," a fan wrote in a viral post. "This changes how I see the show." Others echoed the disbelief, stating he never appeared to be someone battling such serious issues. This sudden unraveling of his public image marked a turning point. Prosecutors moved quickly, building a case and filing several felony charges that included illegal possession of drugs and firearms. If convicted, he faced potential prison time of up to 20 years. But more than the legal ramifications, the case placed his entire career in jeopardy. The charges didn't just threaten his freedom, they threatened to dismantle the carefully curated image that had fueled his success. As the entertainment world looked on, many feared this might be the final chapter in Chumlee's reality television journey. Court documents later revealed the full extent of what authorities discovered in Chumlee's home. Evidence logs detailed a cache of firearms, including assault-style weapons, as well as a variety of illegal substances and related paraphernalia. The magnitude of these findings raised serious concerns and left many wondering how one of reality TV's most recognizable personalities had become entangled in such a situation. The sexual assault investigation that originally prompted the search ultimately led to no charges due to insufficient evidence, but prosecutors maintained that Chumlee's lifestyle posed significant public safety threats. A prosecution brief underscored the necessity of pursuing the harshest penalties in light of the quantity and nature of the items uncovered. Tension filled the courtroom as the trial began, with Chumlee's solemn expression captured by the flash of cameras. His porn star's colleagues appeared visibly shaken. Once cherished for his laid-back television persona, Chumlee now faced a serious legal reckoning. "Your Honor, this case involves grave breaches of drug and weapons laws," the prosecutor stated during opening remarks, pointing to evidence of a large weapons stockpile and significant amounts of illegal substances found in the defendant's home. The mood in the courtroom grew heavier as images of the seized items were shown. Chumlee avoided eye contact, occasionally shaking his head in disbelief. The cross-examination added to the drama. "Detective, are you saying Mr. Russell was running a drug operation?" his lawyer asked. The officer responded, "The amount and variety suggest more than personal use." The defense countered, noting the lack of scales, packaging, or any documentation typically associated with drug distribution. Debate over the firearms further intensified the proceedings. "Wouldn't you agree that Mr. Russell is a collector, including of historical firearms?" the defense asked. "Collectors must still have proper licenses and ensure secure storage," a firearms expert replied. Chumlee, visibly anxious, leaned over to whisper to his lawyer, prompting the judge to warn, "Speak only when testifying." Legal analysts offered their insights on sentencing. Former prosecutor James Wilson explained that the mix of weapons and controlled substances typically results in stiff prison terms. The defense emphasized Chumlee's previously clean record and how fame blurred his personal boundaries. "He spiraled into excess that clouded his judgment," his attorney said. "He never intended harm and has otherwise been a respected public figure." As the trial progressed, the public followed closely. "This isn't just a court case," one fan commented. "It's the unraveling of a TV icon." Plea negotiations became a focal point, with intense talks between both legal teams. Chumlee's freedom, reputation, and career, along with potentially millions in damages, hung in the balance. On the final day of trial, crowds gathered outside the courthouse, some holding signs of support, others donning porn stars merchandise. Inside, the air was thick with anticipation as Judge Michael Davidson prepared to announce the sentence. In the matter of State versus Russell, he began, "The court has reviewed the plea deal, including all mitigating and aggravating factors." The room fell silent. Chumlee stood trembling. The defendant has pleaded guilty to one felony weapons charge and one misdemeanor drug charge. The remaining charges are dismissed under the agreement. His attorneys exchanged glances, his face stayed tense. The judge continued, emphasizing the seriousness of the offenses and their risks to public safety. Chumlee was sentenced to 3 years of probation, mandatory counseling, routine drug testing, and permanent forfeiture of all seized items. However, the most jarring condition was that any probation violation would lead to an automatic 3-year prison term, without a hearing. "Mr. Russell," the judge said, "you are sentenced to 3 years of probation with strict supervision. Any violation results in immediate incarceration. Do you understand?" The words hit hard. After months of fear over a possible decade-long sentence, Chumlee should have felt relief, but instead, he was overwhelmed by the gravity of what he narrowly escaped and what still lay ahead. Pale and sweating, Chumlee listened as the judge listed further requirements, including 200 hours of community service. The courtroom seemed to spin. His attorney reached to steady him, but it was too late. The once light-hearted TV star collapsed forward. Gasps filled the room. Security rushed to him. "He's having a panic attack," a paramedic shouted, pushing through the crowd. "Give him space. Someone bring water." As medical staff surrounded him, photographers snapped images of the dramatic collapse. Chumlee, the once beloved porn star's figure, lay unconscious in front of a stunned court. That image, raw and human, would soon dominate headlines around the globe. The toll of his legal ordeal had finally caught up to him, now painfully visible to all. Rick Harrison made a brief appearance to check on his employee and friend, as concerned fans gathered in groups, many expressing disbelief at the dramatic outcome of the case. However, attention quickly shifted to the unfolding medical emergency, which overshadowed the legal verdict. Entertainment news outlets and social media were flooded with concern as fans posted updates and messages of support using hashtags like #ChumleeStrong and #PornStarsFamily. 3 days later, Chumlee appeared in a video statement from his home. Still visibly shaken, he managed to show hints of his familiar smile. "Facing the consequences of my actions apparently gives you anxiety attacks," he said with a weak attempt at humor. "The doctor says I need to make better choices." I know he's right. The health scare seemed to prompt a shift in the way he presented himself publicly. Surprisingly, History Channel executives were reportedly open to his return to the show once he recovered. An anonymous insider noted that the network viewed his legal issues as a potential opportunity for a genuine redemption story. Though official spokespeople did not confirm any future plans, they also did not dismiss the idea of his continued involvement. In his next statement, Chumlee struck a more serious tone, admitting, "I let fame cloud my judgment. I made mistakes that could have cost me everything. I'm grateful for the second chance, and I promise my fans I won't waste it." His words sparked discussion across the entertainment world. One veteran reality TV producer remarked, "This legal battle has changed his trajectory. Audiences are drawn to redemption arcs, and Chumlee now has one that feels authentic." Observers noted his renewed focus on legitimate business ventures and compliance with court requirements. Fans quickly filled online forums with supportive messages about his potential return, though neither Chumlee nor the network gave a specific timeline. When asked about returning to TV, he responded thoughtfully, "Right now, my priority is getting healthy and making better decisions. The show has been like a family to me for years, and I hope to make them proud again." Rather than ending his career, the legal trouble unexpectedly opened the door to a new chapter. Interest in Pawn Stars remained strong, with many viewers eager to see Chumlee back on screen. For longtime fans who had watched his journey from a little-known pawnshop worker to a television personality, the legal drama served as a reminder of the risks of fame. His sudden collapse wasn't just a low point, it may have marked the beginning of a more honest version of himself, emerging from behind his formerly carefree image. How do you think fame influences personal judgment? Share your thoughts in the comments.